Okay, right now we're going to work on the hand. So I'm going to right click and go to face. I'm going to select the faces here on the hand and then press F to frame them. So we'll start with the thumb, and I'm going to select these four faces right here. And I'll go ahead and hit extrude. And then I'm going to press W and move the extrusion out. And then I'm going to press R and I'll use the blue box and scale these faces together. I'll use the red box, scale them in a little bit, use green. So now what I want to do is I want to extrude out the thumb, and I'm going to go straight out, and after I have the thumb shaped, then I'll rotate the thumb and leave it at an angle when we're done. So I'm going to take, let's see, I'll go to Vertex, and I'll select these two vertices here, scale them down, and let's select all three vertexes here and move them over. So we're going to need a box-like shape for the thumb so that when we smooth it out, it will turn into a cylinder-like shape. So I'm going to select these 6 vertices and scale them in. Let's see, I'll take this set of vertices right here and move them over. And now, scale these up a little bit. And then I'm going to take the 4 vertexes on the corners here, press R and scale those in. And now we roughly have a rounded out shape here. I think I'll select 2 more. I'm holding down Shift to multiple select these vertices, and I'll press R and scale this in a little bit more. I think that's going to be pretty good. So I'm going to right click, go to face, and select 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. I'll hit extrude and go out. So now that I have part of the thumb extruded out, I'm going to just check and see. I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to smooth out the whole model and see how it looks smooth, and see if the thumb is the right size and if the thumb is round enough. So I'm going to click on this button right here to smooth my model. It actually looks pretty good. We can bring maybe the corners in a little bit more, but the size of the thumb I think is good. So I'm going to press Z to undo twice here, and let's take these 4 edges here, press R, and I'm going to scale them in some more. I'll right click, go to object mode, and we'll smooth it again. And that's pretty round. I think that's pretty good for the thumb. So press Z, undo, and let's see here. I'm going to right click and go to edge and double click on this edge right here, and I'm just going to scale this out. And now I will right click, go to face, press Q. I'll select these 4 faces here, and I'm going to hit extrude, and then I'll hit W and just move these straight out. I'll press R and scale them in a little bit, and then I'm going to hit extrude again and move this out. And then I'm going to click on one of these boxes here, let go, and then I'll click and drag on this center box. And then I'll just use the red box here. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So right here, this would be the fingernail. Alright. Right click here, go to edge. I'll just move this a little bit over. Alright, so let's smooth this again and see how it looks. I'm going to right click, go to object mode, and then I'll smooth it. Okay, we need more of a rounded edge right here, I think. So I'll hit Z to undo. I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, select the vertex on the center on the very end of the thumb here and push this out. And then maybe select, let's see, I'll do this maybe in face mode. Take these, and push these back some more. And then let's see, I'll press F to frame it. And I'm going to press Q for my selection tools, take this vertex, press W, let's move that out, and try and round this out some more. Take these two vertices, push them back. Alright. Take this, push it over a little bit. I'll right click, go to object mode, and I'll smooth it again. Alright, I think that's going to be good enough. So I'll press Z to undo. Just press Z twice there. Let's rotate this. So I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, and I'll take all the vertices here on the thumb. I'm going to press E for my rotate tool, and then I'm going to press the home key, and I'm going to move the pivot point right here, and then I'll press home again. And now I can rotate the thumb at an angle here. I'll go over here to my side panel, and I'll rotate it down a little bit here. So what we need to do now is move this down. So I'll just move it down like so. So let's see, we need to, I think this should be rotated a little bit more. So I'll press home, move the pivot point to the base of the thumb here, and then press home again. I'll rotate it some more. Hit W, maybe move it out a little bit. Okay. I think we're good on the thumb now. So let's take the whole hand here. I'm going to select all the vertices and just move this over a little bit. Now my hand's not going to match up with my drawing exactly the same way that my feet are not going to match up with the drawing exactly. Alright, so I'm going to just take these vertices here, hit R, and scale them up a tiny bit. Alright, I'm going to take this vertex right here and move it down. Alright. I'll right click, go to object mode, and then we'll smooth it again and just check. Everything still looks good. Press Z. Okay. Alright, now let's work on the finger. So right click, go to face. I'll select these two faces right here. I'm going to hit extrude, press W, and move this out. And then I'm going to press R and scale these in. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the thumb. I'm going to extrude out a straight finger, and then we'll rotate it later. And we'll actually take that one finger and duplicate it 3 more times for the rest of the hand. So let's start. I've scaled these together. You can see in the top panel here. Let's see, I'll just do that one more time. Make sure this line is straight. And let's see. So now what we want to do is we want to round this out. So I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, and take this vertex and move it this way. And actually I think we're going to push this in. And then let's take this stuff. I'm going to scale these two vertices in. Hit W and move them in. And it looks like we're going to have to move this in as well, because otherwise it's going to get in the way of this second finger right here. So I'll move that in some more. I'm going to right click, go to Edge, select these two edges here and move them up slightly. And then just take the bottom edge here and move that up slightly. Okay, let's see. Let's go to right click, go to Vertex, select these two vertices, zoom in right here on the side panel, press R. I'm going to scale these vertices together. I'll select these two, scale these together. So basically, we have a base to which we can extrude out the rest of the finger. So I'm going to right click, go to face, select these two faces here, hit extrude, press W, I'll move straight out. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see if this finger kind of rounds out the way I want it to. So I'll right click, go to object mode, and I'll press the smooth button right here. I think that's pretty good. It's a little bit long vertically here. So I'll press Z twice to undo, and I'm going to go to face, select these three faces here, move them up a little bit. Then I'll just select the bottom face and move that up a little bit. I'll go back to object mode here. I'll smooth. It's pretty close. Alright, so let's press Z to undo. And I think this is going to be our default finger right here. So we need to have 3 joints on the finger. So let me add in these. I'll go to Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop tool, and we'll add in 2 sections for joints here. I'll press Q. I'll take this edge right here and push this in. I'll double click on this edge and push this back. Push this back a little bit. So now what I want to do is I want to add a little curvature to the finger, so it's going to be bending down just as the image right here, the finger's bending down slightly. So I'm going to double click on this edge loop right here, hit E for my rotate tool. I'm going to rotate this slightly, so that's pointing down slightly. Go to the next edge loop right here. I'll rotate this down. And now let's go to the front panel here. And we want to move this down. So I'll double click on this edge loop, move this down. And then let's see, at the end here, let me right click and go to Vertex and select these vertices, and we'll move these down. So we just want to get everything rotated so that it's just curving down slightly. And this needs to be rotated the most. Yeah. Take this section here and move it. We take this section and move it down. Alright, so this is pretty close, I think. So I'm going to right click, go to object mode, and I'll smooth it out and see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'll press Z to undo, and let's just extrude these two faces out slightly here. And then I'll click on one of these boxes and then click and drag on this box and just kind of bring that in just to round out the front of the finger here. Scale it down. Alright, I'm going to go to the top panel here and I'm going to go to Vertex mode. And I just want to hit R here and scale this down a little bit, and then I'll select the next set of vertices, scale that down, next set, scale those down. Just don't want this finger to be too straight, we want it to taper a little bit. I'll smooth this one more time. Okay, so let's duplicate this. So I'm just going to hit Command D to duplicate. I'll move this over slightly. I'm going to right click, go to face, select all the faces on this finger right here. I'll go to Edit, and then I'll go down to Invert Selection. Then I'll press Delete, and here we have a spare finger. So I want to move this over, the pivot point, over to the center of the finger here. So I'll go to Modify, and then I'll go down to Center Pivot. I'll just move this over. I'll go to the top panel here. And the middle finger is actually the finger that's going to be straight. So I'm going to press R and scale this out slightly. Make it slightly longer. And let's go to this finger right here, and let's take these and scale them in a little bit, and then move them back a little. Alright. So I'm going to right click, go to object mode, select this floating finger right here, and I'll hit Command D, move it over, and hit Command D one more time and move it over. So now we have our 4 fingers. And let's see, I'm going to start by deleting these 2 faces right here. I'll press delete. And then I'm going to right click and I'll go to object mode. And I'm going to select the first object right here, which is this floating finger. Hold down Shift, select the second object. And then I'm going to go up to Mesh and go to Combine. So now what I can do is I can append this floating finger to the hand. So I go to Edit Mesh and then Append to Polygon Tool. I'll click on one edge, click on the opposite edge, and I'll press G to finish that. And then that's going to automatically bring up the same tool again. And that did not work, so I'll press Return and I'll press Z to undo. I'll press G and bring up the Append tool again. And then I'll press G. And now we're just going to connect all of these faces here. Continuing to press G every time I complete my append. And then we got one more right here. And now that second finger is connected. Alright, so let's hit Q, select this finger right here. I'm going to go to my top panel. I'm going to press E for my rotate tool. I'm going to rotate this finger a little bit. And we'll move it down. And let's take this finger and rotate it some more. Press R and scale this down. This is the pinky right here. I'll scale this finger down a little bit too. And then this finger right here, the index finger, let's modify this. I'm going to select these vertices here. Press E for my rotate tool. Press the home key. Move this over. Press home again. And then I'll rotate this out a little bit. I'll right click, go back to object mode, and I'm going to rotate this over. And let's see, I'm going to go to Vertex and just move this over slightly, give myself a little more space. Okay. I'll right click, go to face, select these two faces right here, and I'll press delete. And now I'm going to go to object mode, select this floating finger, hold down shift, select the object here, and I'll go up to mesh and then go to combine. I go to edit mesh now and go to append to polygon tool and connect these edges. Press G. All right. We've got one more finger to go. So I'm going to press Q, select this finger, hold down shift, select the rest of the body here. And I'll go up to mesh, and then I'll go to combine. And then actually what we need to do is, I think I forgot to delete these faces. So we go to face mode, select those faces, delete them. And now I'll go to edit mesh, append to polygon tool, and we'll append these faces here. Going all the way around here. All right, so now we have 4 fingers attached. I'm going to hit Q, right click, go to object mode here, and let's just see how this looks smoothed out. I'm going to hit the smooth button right here. It came out pretty good. The only thing I want to do is I'm going to undo. I'm going to right click, go to face, and I'll select this finger right here. And I'm going to hit W and move it down a little bit. And I'll do the same thing with the pinky finger over here. Select that. Move that down. Okay. Then maybe I'll take this finger here. I'm going to hold down shift and hit the greater than symbol to select the rest of the finger. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Same with the ring finger here. Hold down shift, use the greater than symbol on the keyboard. Move that up slightly. All right. I'll right click, go to object mode here. And I'll smooth this one more time. And that's more what I was looking for. So I'm going to press Z to undo. And there we have our finished hand. So let's go ahead and save our scene. I'll go up to File and then Save Scene As. And we'll save this as Stage 3. In the last video, we will finish the head by modeling the face and the ears and the whiskers.